Hello.
Hello?
Hello, is this Rick?
Hey, it's Rick. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm doing real well. How are you?
Feeling good. Just, spending an afternoon with the family.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Got some little...
You got the little ones around?
Yeah, I got little ones running around, but they're being good and quiet for me right now.
How many do you have?
I have 2 little girls.
2 little girls? Yeah, I got a boy and a girl.
Oh, you're 1 for 1, dude.
It's so it's wonderful, huh? Just see how they grow and how they take parts of you and just run with it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
The
only problem I have is sometimes, obviously when they're screaming in your face, you're like, I'm never having another kid. But for the most part, when I'm honest with myself, I'd love to have 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah, me too. But isn't it scary? Like that's what holds me back from having another kid is, like the world right now is so unsure and unsettling. Like especially with all this stupid bickering back and forth on the politics.
I think though, I almost want to create a bubble. I want to create a little bubble for my. For my kids, like where it feels safe and nice, and if they don't want to deal with it, they don't have to. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking about too. Like I want to gather up enough money and move to like Wyoming or Montana, like just.
Oh, it's great. I've been to those places many times. Many times.
Just to get away, because isn't Montana the place in the United States with the least amount of people?
I feel like there's no one there. Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I just think that. I've been that sort of my.
But even in Vegas, I live up in Vegas. I live in a community that feels like a bubble, man. I feel we have our own. It's just beautiful over here. We have our own almost like our own little blocked out world in a sense. It's pretty great. We have all our food restaurants where just everybody that lives up in this area goes to. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just where we live in Nevada, but we have this. We feel so separated, and I feel like we don't have to deal with any of that in a sense. I feel like maybe if you go down to the Strip and, there's some protesting going on or madness down there, then you could see it and be drawn into it. But where we live, it really just feels like its own little bubble,
Yeah. Where you live, do you get noticed?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh,
of course.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you first wrote the email, I was shocked that it was you.
I handle all that stuff, man. I handle everything involved in the band, and this is my baby. This is something that I put 11 years of my life into. So yeah, I'm very hands on with it.
And I was, for one, that's like. I had to do a double take because I was just going through so many emails. We had so many people. We have like 15 bands that we're interviewing for this thing.
Well, that's what I wanted to let you sort out too. That's why I took a minute to step back. I'm like, he's got a lot going on. I'll let him sort his schedule out a little bit, and then I'll pop back in and see what we can make work.
Yeah. First and foremost, I run a radio. Oh, first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for spending some time with us. And for this interview and. This one interview, out of everyone that's on the bill, I have more pride for because I want to put you guys over as best as I can.
I appreciate that.
I heard you guys on Sirius Octane. And
I love Octane. They give us a lot of love.
A lot of love, huh? And I put you guys in my preset. I've heard you guys one time through a WWE. I think you guys did like an event, like Over the Edge or Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. We did an event. We did. That was in California. We did 2 events. So we did one in Sacramento where Randy Orton headlined. That was outside. It was like a summer. It was like a summer one, and then we did another one. It was like it wasn't Bash at the Beach, but it was like I remember like the decor was like a shark. It was nuts. It was pretty cool. But I got to go to the arena. We played. I got to hang out with the Big Show. I met John Cena. I got to hang out with like Evan Bourne backstage. It was really cool. Randy Orton came up. The Legacy guys came up and were like, "Dude, thanks for writing our theme song." I feel like I know the Miz a little bit. Like it's funny. Like when I see him, I've met him a couple times, so he always is like, "How are you?" Like we know each other. Like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good. How are you?" Because we've been at so many events together, and Same with Baron Corbin. You know, Baron Corbin used to come to some of our shows before he was Baron Corbin.
That is one of my favorite guys that is coming up right now is Baron Corbin.
Oh, he's the man, dude. He first of all, let me just tell you, in real life, he's a very tough individual. Very tough. Yeah,
I can imagine. I'm scared just like if I saw him in the streets, and I like him so much, I just wouldn't say hi to him because I'm afraid that he's
a super friendly guy.
Oh, he
is a fighter. He's very friendly, but man, he can box really good. He's a Golden Glove boxing champion. He's just tough, man. He's a former pro football player. He was a pro football player, and he got kicked off the team for beating up a defensive lineman.
I know that's why I don't want to mess with him, because every time I do any kind of research or a story pops up online, it's about Baron Corbin whooping someone's ass. I'm like, oh no, that could easily be
he's a tough fella, but he's cool, man. He's a cool guy. He hits me up sometimes. I was supposed to go to lunch with him when we were in Orlando last.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Were you a wrestling fan prior to you guys?
Of course.
Yes.
My whole life.
My whole life.
My whole life.
I was like 1984 is like the first time I remember watching wrestling.
Same here, dude. I used to make my parents buy the pay-per-views for WrestleMania. I mean, everything. I went and saw the triple threat match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels.
Oh man,
it was amazing. I was obsessed. And when you're a little kid, man. Even to this day, though, I don't follow as much. I have my own children, but I follow it to a certain point. I keep up on it. I see what's going on. You know, whenever WrestleMania or SummerSlam's on, I'll kind of watch what I can of it, and then I'll read the result. Royal Rumble just happened. Like I stay on it the best that I can, being where I am in my life at this point.
When they're telling you to write a song for these guys, do you sit down with Jim Johnson?
Okay, so when we did the Legacy theme, we did sit down with Jim Johnson. With Invincible and with Ready for War, which were both used by the WWE, I just wrote those songs myself, and they heard them, and they were like, dude, we have to have this. This is perfect for what we're doing. Like, they called us out of the blue for Ready for War. They were like, this song, our next pay-per-view, the theme is Ready for War. Can we use this? And I was like, dude, it would be great. Let's do it.
And so just a little tidbit on us. We do a magazine called No Cover. It's been around for over 21 years. And we also do an online radio show and an FM radio show as well. And it's mostly catered to local music. So it's we're trying to, because the way the music scene has been going is real musicians don't matter anymore. They want to put over people who are very good looking, who can sell. So it's more of a marketing machine and money generating machine rather than the arts. And
of course,
and so
there's really, really a lack of art. I mean, I hate to hate on bands because I don't do that, but sometimes I listen to what pop radio and what people are loving. And I almost feel like I've lost touch with an audience a little bit. I'm like, yes. I listen to like the Chainsmokers, and I just feel like maybe I'm missing something. I'm like, the lyrics are just really bad. I mean, people hate on Nickelback and then let this thing slip through. I'm like, this is crazy. Like to me, it's like the whole world's so busy saying that Nickelback has no talent, Creed has no talent, and then they're jumping on board with like, people that don't even sing or write their own songs, and I'm kind of like, what an ass backwards situation, like what a because what I know of the Nickelback guys, which is playing a show here or there with them and bumping into them on occasion, and is those guys are just really talented as far as playing music, knowing music. There's no one in the pop world, I think, outside of a couple of anomalies. The Imagine Dragons guys are very talented. They're from Las Vegas. They represent well. Those guys can play their instruments, and those guys are very creative. But there's people in pop, that don't even have even a hand in writing their own songs. They don't even sing their own songs live. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because it just seems like they are the face. Like, they just want to sell, and pretty much that's what we do. Like, we try.
But they are selling. That's the problem. They do sell.
Then
it's not even want to sell. They do sell. People, the people that take time to say Creed sucks, run out and buy, and say how amazing some of the things we're kind of harping on. They let that get a free pass. Not even a free pass, but they just enjoy it. They say. It's crazy. It's like when you're talking about a Creed or a Nickelback or any rock band, they come off so judgmental, like they're these music snobs, and then you're like, well, what do you like? What do you like? And they're like, oh my God, I love. And then they'll name like the Chainsmokers, and you're like, that's the worst shit ever. What do you mean though? Like,
yeah, that's one of the bands that I don't get. Like, I mean, maybe it sucks. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand how something like that can go over so well with everybody around the world, but then, we got other bands who are just struggling to make it, and they're so freaking talented. It just blows my mind.
Well, I think if you're in a rock and roll band at this day and age, I think the one thing you have to be ready for is to be underground, to grind. Our outlets are pretty much Octane. You're not going to see us in the mass press. You're not going to see us on TV, on Saturday Night Live, on the Super Bowl, on really anything even close. No video games, no movies, no. It's just such a different planet. We have to build this through going out on the road and playing in front of 200 people, then playing in front of 400 the next time, then playing in front of 600 the next time. It's just a different approach. It's just a different game, a different planet. We're not going to just wake up in the morning and get a Nintendo commercial or be on Leno. We got to build this thing through discovery and word of mouth and touring, and it's crazy. Rock radio doesn't even support rock radio. It's just pathetic. So it's a tough situation, but I think I remain positive on it. I have a different outlook on where the music business is. I think it's in a good place for guys like me. I've found a way to self-sustain, and I found a way to own my masters, and I found a way to kind of run my operation myself and stay out there and stay on tour and stay in the face of people. And I think the songs do that. I think I've written a couple songs that it doesn't matter what the press tells people. People can decide that they like these songs, so people are listening to them. And as long as people are listening to you, you're okay.
Well, we ended up. So we had a theme song for a radio show, and then I was listening to Octane, and "Ready for War" came on, and that's the first time I've ever heard "Ready for War." I've heard of you guys before, and I knew you guys were associated with WWE, but I've never heard that song. And the moment I heard it that day, I listened to that song probably, realistically, probably 60 times.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I wrote "Ready for War." What inspired that song is, I seen. We're talking about the mass media again. I've seen a lot of artists like Beyonce using the media to backlash at our police officers and create anti-officer videos and create just a stir and try to stir up almost a civil war, it seemed. And I know a lot of cops, and I know a lot of military, soldiers, and their main goal when they go out isn't to bully anyone, or some cops are bad, but there's bad people at every job they have. But the majority of cops, their focus is to keep our community safe and to keep the bad guys doing whatever they want to do. To keep us from being like Mexico, where the drug dealers rule and you can't even walk in the streets. And I think that's what inspired me to write "Ready for War, Pray for Peace," is the mindset of our police officers who wake up every morning and leave their families to come make sure the community's safe. Our military that are out there in places like Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria trying to make sure that the world is as much a better place they can. Each one of these guys wakes up every day, and they hope that the world's a better place. They hope that they don't have to get in any confrontations or altercations, but they're constantly preparing for the worst.
Yeah. So after I listened to it 60 times, the next day was our radio show, and I was like, I'm switching the theme song. And so
hell yeah.
That was our theme song. And because at the moment, it spoke to me so much because I was ready to give up. Like, I felt like, you know what, dude, like no matter what you do, you cannot make any headway. You cannot make a difference. And I heard that song and I said, you know what? I'm not giving up. Fuck this shit. I'm ready to go to war. If I die, I die.
You have to be. Nothing comes easy. And you also have to be, you also have to have your results in your mind. For me, my goal isn't to take over the world anymore. I don't want to be as big as Lady Gaga. I know that's nearly impossible. What I can do is make a difference for my fans, make a difference for myself. Also grow within the community that does love. I'm not worried about people that don't like our kind of music. I'm worried about the people that do like our kind of music. You can't penalize the people that love what you do because of the people that aren't supporting what you do. So you guys have listeners, you have viewers. These people need to be fed information. You can't let them down just because you're so mad at the people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah. So I wanted to say thank you for that, man, because that right there, ever since I heard that song, I've been trailblazing now. Like,
I'm glad to hear that. That's what it's for, man. That's why I write these songs, because sometimes it touches people and it changes their outlook, it changes their mindset, and it's truly an honor, and it drives me to continue to make music because it shows you the impact it can have on lives.
Hell yeah. All right, what do you guys got going on? Like what does it look like for you guys right now? Are you guys gearing up for the summer? Are you guys gearing up for the spring?
Oh, we're going. Yeah, we got, we're headlining in March and April. We pretty much got 8 weeks of headlining. We're hitting the whole U.S. We're probably going to wrap up the rest of the U.S. we don't touch in June and July. We'll pretty much play everywhere in the United States once. And then, we got some festival dates coming up in September. And then we're probably going to do an acoustic tour in November and release, we're going to release our 5th album, Notorious, sometime in the summer. And then we're going to release, most likely, an acoustic record, maybe early 18. We're just going to go. We're just going to work. We're going to do what we do. We're professional musicians. We play music. That's what I do. That's what I wake up. That's how I feed my kids. It's how I feed myself within. I see myself, and I know what I'm here for.
Awesome. Hey, if you would like, man, in July, we'll put you on the cover of No Cover, and we'll push your Notorious album.
I would love that.
Or in the summer, July or August, we have those covers open, and I support you so much, man.
That would be great. That would be amazing. I'm very, very, very high on where this record is as well. I think I've worked extremely hard on it to make sure it's one of my best pieces of work. I'm certainly not rushing any aspect of it, and I'm really making something that I want the fans. I owe the fans so much for putting me in the position that I'm in. That I want to just make something great for not only myself but for the fans as well.
When you make a badass song like Ready for War, do you compare all your other works to it?
Yeah, I think you have to compare your work to it just to make sure you're either you're accomplishing certain goals. You don't want to regress, and you want to always try to beat your work. When I'm done in this game, I don't want people to just have one specific record that everyone is for sure is my best record. I want people to be like, yeah, but then this record had this song and this record had that song, and I hope it just shows that my talent isn't luck and it isn't a one-trick pony. I want after 5, 6, 7 albums, people to be like, dude, I feel like they started writing. Rick started writing his best songs on album 5. It's not. I'm not in a rush here. I'm just focused on making great music.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So you got that coming out, and you got things coming through this summer. Rockin' the Spring, that's coming up. That right there is a badass lineup. You know what I mean? I'm real curious to see Art of Anarchy with Scott Stapp. I want to know. I don't know what they're going to sound like. I tried to look.
They're going to be great. Look, I just saw Scott. We just got off tour with Scott. I just saw Scott at the Radio Contraband Awards, and I'm going to say to you what I said to him when I seen him. He is one of the best performers, best frontmen I've ever seen. His passion, his talent, the talent God gave him, his voice, his performing. There's not a night that Scott doesn't go out there and give it everything he has. So that's what you're going to get from Art of Anarchy. You're going to get a great lineup of great musicians who played arenas, who played in front of 70,000 people, and it's going to be an honor to see them playing in front of in front of us at the M Resort. It's okay, baby. I think Scott is just extremely talented. I think everyone knows that. I mean, the guy wrote some of the biggest songs the world's ever heard, and I think he's just going to put out a great performance. Like he does every night. I was blown away by the performing Scott did on when we toured with his solo act, the Scott Stapp tour, on the Scott Stapp tour. He blew me away every night.
All right, well, I'm excited. I'm going to be there. We're going to have our crew there, and we're there to support. You know what I mean?
I look forward to hanging.
I do too, my man. Is there anything else that you would like to? What are you? Just real fast. What are you passionate about right now? Whether it be besides music, because I can feel that through your soul, just talking. But whether it be worldly events, whether it be sports, what are you really passionate about at this moment in time?
I'm very passionate about the world, becoming a better place. I got kids coming up through it, and they're going to have their kids coming up through it, and my family's, I don't want the world to regress into a point where everybody's constantly talking about the end of it or wars or all these things. I think that, doing some of the things to make our country safe and our country great are important. And I think there's some moves that our president's making that are it's probably scary for a lot of people, but I think that you can't just take everything someone's doing and say it all stinks. I do think that this administration will do a couple of good things for our nation, and as far as some of the trade we're doing, I just want the country to be better, safer, more prominent, more jobs for people, less people out there struggling.
Yeah, and that you say that, like, I remember I joined the military when I was 18, straight out of high school, and I was in there for 12 years. And when I first joined, it was people loved military. You know what I mean? People loved our country. And now I'm not sure if it's just social media propaganda.
It's social media. Where we're from, in my circle, everybody that touches my life, everybody feels that way. Everybody feels so passionate about our military and about America. All my friends, all my closest family, my best friends. I mean, my lifestyle doesn't see anything anti-America except on social media and online and through the media. Everybody that surrounds me supports this country 100%.
That's good, man. That's real affirming to hear. Well, Rick, man, this has been. I have had you on my list for the radio show for a long time. I just wanted to get a little bit of time with you to pick your brain a little bit, and man, everything this right here means a lot to us, and what you've done for me and my community by helping continue the journey and continue the push. I can never repay you for it.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing too, because you're the outlet for our voice. When the rest of the media is busy, pretty much ignoring what we're doing and ignoring what we're creating, we're lucky to have an outlet where our fans can get a little insight on what's going on. So thank you for grinding it out and doing what you do for rock and roll.
Well, Rick, man, hey, I appreciate you. You take care of those little babies. And
thanks, you too. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Have a good night.
I'll see you soon.
All right, bye. What up? All day.
All day?
That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
How do you like that one?
That was cool.
He hung out with Randy Orton, Big Show.